I am joined by Pippa-Jane. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Such a lovely voice. You're a back pain specialist and complementary therapist, sort of opened the show with that. What does that actually mean? Complementary therapist, what's that?
Complementary therapist is, we're not on the medical side. All our therapies are holistic. So they're going to include things like body massage, reflexology, neuro-skeletal realignment therapy.
My God, neuro-skeletal.
Skeletal.
What does that involve? What's that?
That is a very gentle, non-invasive treatment that works on the central nervous system.
Right, okay.
It's very gentle,
yeah,
and it can't hurt you or make you any worse.
Oh, that's always good. Rule number one with back pain. Okay, and what's the difference between, sorry, this could be a bit of a controversial question, between yourselves and sort of a physiotherapist? What would it be, or can you not even really be compared?
No, we're not. You kind of get consultants, physiotherapists, and then the complementary therapists.
Fine, okay, so I came to see you earlier on this week.
You did.
Look at my where I'm sitting today. I'm all very relaxed, very chilled out. You can see me now, I'm practically laying down in the studio. It's very good. A little bit about me. You did loads of things on me to begin with. It wasn't just a, hello, I've got issues with my back.
No, you had a full consultation and postural analysis.
Okay, and just for the people that are listening, what does that actually involve?
Right, so I'm going to be taking a history from you. I want to find out if you've had any accidents, trips or falls, what kind of activities that you do, how stressful is your life, if there has been any traumas or emotional upset, and that's just to put together a little bit of background for me to find out what's going on with your body.
Okay, now what, this is probably no big deal to you, but what really surprised me is as soon as I walked in, you knew straight away it was my right shoulder. How did you know that? You're not psychic, are you?
No, the obvious thing is, yes, it's my job and it's my field, so, but you learn to actually be able to look at people, and it becomes a real bad habit, because wherever you go, you look at people.
I was lucky enough to experience the magical hands, I'm going to call them, of Pippa this week. When did I come? Was it Thursday?
Yeah,
it was,
Thursday.
Time flies. Yeah, and as I said, my first insight into it, never done it before. I've had physiotherapy, which I must admit, it was good. It hurt a lot, a hell of a lot. They wired me up to a machine as well, like
not a TENS machine. Yeah,
which was very strange. It was, I didn't like that at all. And then I stopped going in the end. It just kind of fizzled out, but obviously my shoulder is still quite bad. Now, what treatment did you use on me?
Neuro-skeletal realignment therapy.
That was
NSRT.
the one, the non-invasive?
Yeah. Okay,
if I can explain this as someone who knows nothing about any of this, it basically seems to involve me laying on the couch, you keep your clothes fully on, don't wear denim, obviously because you can't get the full benefits, but literally, from my point of view, all you seem to do is literally go up and down my body with two fingertips, but it felt like it felt bizarre. I can't explain it.
It is very, very difficult to explain.
Yeah.
And each and every person will experience it in a different manner. So some people may get tingling sensations.
I did get that as well.
One of my clients actually thought I had little electrode pads strapped to my finger.
Yes, I can relate to that.
Which I don't.
You didn't, did
no,
you?
I don't do torture. But I am using the central fingers of both hands, which is considered most neutral in the therapeutic world. And it's just very gentle pressure on very specific nerve points that have been mapped out.
Okay, and without wanting to go too technical, what is the science behind that? Because at one point I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience, and I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not usually down with stuff like this. I'm usually quite sceptical. I'm like, no, never going to work. But I trust you 1,000,000%. It was the most bizarre experience I've ever had, in a good way, in a really good way. So yeah, what's going on with my
The non-technical explanation for this is by me pressing very gently on very specific nerve points, I'm basically flicking the switch.
Right.
The switch then goes on, a little signal shoots up to the brain, the central nervous system. it deciphers it and then sends a signal back out to the relevant structures or muscles.
Wow.
And just aids them in moving back to their genetic position or where they feel most comfortable.
Right.
So it's then taking pressure off muscles, ligaments, tendons, joints,
okay.
and allowing them to relax.
Which it definitely did do. Also, my arms spasmed out a little
Yeah.
bit as well. Is that's normal? Isn't
That,
it?
yes, you can get what we call judders, shifting. You can get all sorts of kind of weird sensations.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's slightly out of body experience. It just
Yeah.
means that because you have a very hectic life, it was just toning down almost to your brain and saying, chill.
And it certainly did that, I have to say.
The neuroskeletal realignment therapy is one of the best ones because it's considered more of a permanent treatment.
Right.
But you do still at times need to have something like remedial massage,
Okay.
trigger point therapy, soft tissue release and deep tissue, because the fibres and the muscles get what we call trigger points in them,
Right, okay.
and they get a build-up of lactic acid, of waste.
Ah, right.
And that's when, you know, when you feel a muscle and you think, oh, that feels really
Yes.
tight and sore, well, that then sometimes needs a little bit more aggressive work.
Right, okay.
But there's still never going to be any forced manipulation. We're just literally doing remedial massage, stripping down the muscles, helping to elongate them, and then quite often some people then will say have a remedial, and then they'll have an NSRT, and then, you know, sort of backwards and forwards.
Okay. Back pain specialist, I say basically, there's nothing basic about it whatsoever. Back pain specialist and complementary therapist. Absolutely amazing lady with magical hands. We were talking just while their songs were on. You were saying a lot of people sort of think they've got like really almost serious back issues or shoulder issues, when a lot of the time it's probably down to one thing in your neck. Is that right?
Yep, that's true. A lot of people experience pain down by the side of their scapula, right at the back, just by their spine, coming across their shoulder, going down their arm, and even coming down into their wrist and their hand.
Which is exactly what mine was, wasn't it?
Yes. But this can also stem from the scalene muscles, which are a group of 3 muscles up in the neck.
Okay.
And what happens when they go into spasm from something either like a knock or a whiplash, or a lot of golf, you know, like from a golf swing, or stress.
Course, yeah, that must be quite a... Yeah.
You've got stress, emotional stress and tension, anything like that, is these muscles start to shorten.
Right.
And they go into a little bit of a spasm.
Okay.
And what happens is they lift up the first rib.
As in rib?
The first, up at the top.
Oh!
That's your first rib.
That's my first rib?
That's your first rib.
Oh, I don't know.
And when it lifts that up,
okay,
it actually just pulls the shoulder and rotates it into a slightly artificial position.
Right, okay.
When it's doing that, it then can trap the blood vessels and nerves that lead down into the arm, which is your branchial nerves.
Right, okay.
And this is why you get that numb feeling, the tingling, the burning.
Now it starts to make sense.
So if you do some remedial work on the scalene muscles, and they're so-and-so to get to because they are tucked behind that lovely big sternocleidomastoid muscle up in the neck.
Right, okay.
So you've got to get that out of the way, and then you're going to be doing some deep remedial work and some trigger point therapy.
So you have to get right in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of people find that when that's been loosened off, their pain subsides.
Yes.
So a lot of people that think they've got frozen shoulder,
yeah, as I
carpal
did.
tunnel.
I was convinced. I thought it's like the world's worst hypochondria. I was like, right, I've got frozen shoulder, I've got carpal tunnel, I've got this.
With a touch of sciatica and I get headaches.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Of which you don't really get any of that at the moment.
No, not after my, I keep having to go back to the thing, after my Neuro Skeletal Realignment therapy. Yeah, absolutely, it definitely works for me. I love it. So are you going to recommend that I come back next week and have another one of those, or will I be having some more?
Again, I think, you know, we have a little chat, see which one is going to be suitable to you. You do have a restriction in your neck.
Okay.
But you have said it's loosened off a little bit.
Definitely, yeah, I'm not just imagining that. Yeah.
So what I think I would do is give you another neuroskeletal, or NSRT for short.
Yes, that's fine.
A lot easier for everyone. And then take it from there.
brilliant. And I'm going to keep everyone updated with my progress, and I think we could make this a monthly thing, every 6 weeks perhaps. Be good to get you in again, because I think this is a subject that interests a lot of people. And I was just looking on your sheet, it's not just that you treat. I'm quite interested in the migraine side of things, because I said my mum gets them to a point where she's out for the count the whole weekend. She's literally in a darkened room and that's it, and it's awful because, well, I remember particularly when I was younger, she'd obviously be at work Monday to Friday, and then the weekend would come and then that would be it, and we thought,
yeah,
come on,
you lose your mum.
yeah. So what do you do for that? Is it again
Again,
similar?
it's the NSRT. By almost, with some people it's by default that we found out that it does actually help with headaches and migraines.
Right, okay.
Because people have come in with shoulder problems or sciatica or lower back problems.
Yeah.
And then it's been later on and they've said, oh, by the way, I don't get headaches anymore.
Ah, so it's just the link has
So
been made almost by accident.
I then decided to take somebody on that suffers with headaches and migraines a lot.
Right.
And she has done for about 30 odd years.
Right.
This actually is an article that I've written too, in a lot of the complimentary magazines. And she was having treatment technically for sciatica.
Right.
But I also found out that she got migraines and headaches.
Yeah.
And after about 4 or 5 treatments, the headaches just stopped.
How strange.
And she doesn't have migraines anymore. So she now only ever gets what I call a normal little headache once in a while.
Yeah, which we all sort of get, don't we, and can deal with, but...
Before that, she was taking so many painkillers.
This is the same as my mum, and she takes these awful tablets called Migril that apparently if you have too many it can cause gangrene. So, all in all...
There's always the downside to medications. There are other medications for migraine.
Yeah.
But no, NSRT would probably assist her on that.
Right, I'm going to have to bring her along, I think, my next treatment to meet you, definitely. This is a very, very interesting subject. Where can people go if they want to find out more about you and, more importantly, come and see you?
Right, well that's not difficult. I'm more than happy to give out details of that.
Yes.
Right, first off there's my website,
Okay.
which is pippa-jane.co.uk.
Okay. I'll give that out again later as well, by the way.
And then there's my email address, which is pippa.jane@ntlworld.com.
Okay.
Then there is obviously my good old Facebook page.
Ah, yes, which is where I found you.
Which
actually,
yes.
the joys of Facebook.
A few people actually are sort of contacting me on
Do
that.
you know what? It's that picture. That's a really good picture.
I
It really
love that
captures your
picture.
attention. It's sort of the shape of a body in purple and red, and it's got like a big electrode flash almost going through it. It really does catch the attention. So
It's becoming quite synonymous now with
Yeah,
it, so
I love
I'm
it.
really pleased. My back pain address on Facebook is Back Pain and Complementary Therapist. Or you can find me, Pippa-Jane Thomas.
Excellent. And just roughly, how much do the treatments sort of range from? What are you sort of looking
Right.
at?
The Neuro, Skeletal and the Remedial massage, Swedish massage, they're all £30.
That's really cheap.
Yeah.
That seems
I don't-
a good price. Well, not really cheap, but that seems a nice... I thought you were going to say sort of 45, 50 quid, so...
No,
Yeah.
we are regulated, and I try to be realistic, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, especially as, you know, if people want to come back as well, you know, it's hard times at the moment, £30 doable, isn't it? So
Yeah.
you think, right, that's my treat this week,
Yeah.
and it's going to help me as well.
It might not be your takeaway and your bottle of wine, but...
You're going to be looking good and feeling good from the definitely. Look at me.
and sleeping well.
Well, yes, exactly. I am real life evidence that it does actually work. It's really, really good. Pippa, thank you so much for joining us. As I said, I'll be keeping everyone updated, and I'd love it if you could come in again if that's okay.
It would be my pleasure.
Excellent. Okay.